It's along Edgewood Avenue. And get this, Atlanta police have responded to that corridor of Edgewood Avenue 750 times during just the 11 p.m. hour in the last year. So when you break that down, that comes out to be like 2 calls a day almost in 1 hour in one area. This is video from the Edgewood Avenue area I'm talking about from earlier this summer where there was a mass shooting. This is in the Sweet Auburn neighborhood, right next to that fire station. I mean, they were right down the street, able to respond quickly when incidents like this happen. In this particular incident, 10 people were shot and 1 person was killed. And I can tell you that it has happened many, many times before, though not on that scale. Just this past weekend, 3 men were shot outside one of those nightclubs that are there that's open till 2:30 in the morning. That shooting happened at 2 a.m. So as a lot of people were letting out, apparently a fight led to those shots, and then 3 men were shot. How often does this happen along this area of Edgewood? I looked up the Gun Violence Archive this morning. You type in that address, and it shows you how many reported incidents there have been. 30 reported shooting incidents along that street of Edgewood Avenue since 2020. 30 incidents. Something needs to be done. It has caught the city's attention. They assigned a task force to this, and the task force has just made these recommendations. You're taking a look at the Edgewood Corridor Public Safety Task Force, and it is a 40-page document here. Gives you some background on the neighborhood. This is the neighborhood, by the way, where Martin Luther King was born and raised. The MLK Center is right there. It's Sweet Auburn. It's, a couple blocks from Grady Hospital, right next to the interstate there. This is the task force here. 2, 4, 6, 8, 9 members, and it shows who they were appointed by. And then it gets into all the meetings they had, throwing back and forth some ideas on what they can do to improve Edgewood Avenue. And then here you go. Priority recommendations. They got some stuff for the short term, including audit and install some signage on the corner. In the short term, sometime between now and the summer, they want to impose a temporary moratorium on new liquor licenses. Got me something to watch. How are new restaurants and bars going to respond to that? They want to implement the corridor camera plan, put up more cameras, trying to deter crime. And then you get to the midterm. This is 6 months to 2 years. They want to launch a nightlife ambassador pilot program. They want to revise licensing standards and penalties for some of those nightclubs. Same with, that continues there. They want to develop restorative justice and youth violence reduction initiatives. Clarify enforcement of party house ordinances. This is going to be a big one to watch. I think this is probably the biggest one I saw on the whole list. They want to ban so-called party houses in the MLK Landmark District, which officials say operate like after-hours venues. So when the bars close, the people spill out. Apparently they go to some party houses, and that's where, according to the task force, some of the trouble begins. They want to audit and apply blight tax to vacant properties. And then finally, here's some of their long-term recommendations. They want to look into the feasibility of an APD mini precinct. I mentioned that fire department that is right there along Edgewood Avenue. It's right next to the interstate, and those firefighters able to be the first responders to those 30 shooting incidents since 2020 that I've mentioned along this corridor. But would it help adding a little police precinct there? Looks like they're going to look into the feasibility of that, along with establishing a satellite office for the manager of nightlife. They include a conclusion here and then go on and on and on. This is a 40-page document, well worth a read if you're interested in it. A lot of good work went into making these recommendations. And now it is going to go to Atlanta City Council. It'll go to their various offshoots at City Council to discuss what changes should be made, and then ultimately it's going to be up to Council to vote whether to implement some of those recommendations, those dozen or so recommendations that we went through. We're going to be watching. Will this make a dent in crime along Edgewood Avenue? I can tell you the residents who live along there would love to see it.